This video is sponsored by Baby Ruth. It's so good. Hey there guys, how are you? Welcome back to another magical mystical Q&A, and in this one I'm going to spice things up a little bit, and I asked you guys to send me some video questions so I can look at your magical faces. It's something about that's just better to me. I like to look into your eyes as you guys ask me the questions, and if you like Q&A videos, over on my second channel, John Flickinger, I do weekly live streams where I talk about the movie news or topics I care about that week, and then I just answer viewer questions for 2 to 3 hours. It gets a little bit crazy and off the wall and sometimes bizarre and scary, but nevertheless, I really enjoy doing it. So yeah, check out my weekly live streams on my second channel, link down below. And speaking of that, I wanted to let you guys know that this video is sponsored by Baby Ruth, who are throwing this awesome contest right now, and I think you guys are going to really dig it. And by the way, before I dive into that, I need to open this and eat it because it is late and I am hungry. Hey, you guys! I wish I had a friend like Sloth. I don't know what that was. But anyway, in celebration of the 35th anniversary of the Goonies, they just came out the 4K release, which, by the way, the picture quality looks phenomenal. It's the best the Goonies have ever looked. I originally owned this on DVD, and yeah, once you watch that, and then you watch the 4K version of the Goonies, there's no going back. And I always remember this film, watching it over and over on VHS as a kid growing up. And it's like one of those magical movies that transcend you to another time, a happier place in your life, or at least that's what it does for me. And right here's the Goonies collectible gift set, which came with some really awesome stuff, including the movie. And it had I put it somewhere. And it also came with One-Eyed Willie's treasure map. I'm going to follow that later. And very quickly, if you're missing the connection between Baby Ruth bars and the Goonies, it's because there's that very endearing scene in the film The Goonies where Sloth and Chunks share a Baby Ruth bar. I don't know, it's a happy scene, and it always made me want to eat a Baby Ruth bar. And go on an adventure in a cave system under my town, and then be friends with Corey Feldman. And since we're friends, here's all you have to do to enter into the contest. Post a throwback photo of you and a friend on Instagram, and make sure you tag #FirstFriendSweeps at Baby Ruth. That's it. The winning prizes include a year's worth of Baby Ruth bars. It also includes the Goonies 4K digital movie, a custom friendship letterman jacket, and a virtual hangout with actor Sean Astin, who played Mikey in the film The Goonies. That's pretty awesome. So enter in right now. Make sure you do it. Please, I want you guys to win this. All the info is down below. Check it out.
John, Zach Lavender from the great state of South Carolina. Quick question, who is your favorite screenwriter?
Favorite screenwriter. Well, there's a lot of screenplays I really enjoy, but favorite screenwriter, I would say who is the most consistent. And for me right now, I would say my favorite screenwriter is probably Quentin Tarantino, just based on, I typically like just about every movie that he makes. I don't love every single movie, but I really enjoy it, and I know I'm going to get like a quality cinematic experience. Like I could get up right now, do a cartwheel, a backflip, and go watch Django Unchained for the 87th time. There's just something about his films where you get a unique experience that no one else could really duplicate it or get away with it. And yeah, I would say as of right now, Tarantino would probably be my favorite screenwriter.
Hey John, it's Claudio Rogajan, and I just wanted to know, what was your best and worst movie theater experience of all time? Was it really Spider-Man 3?
Now that's a phenomenal question. When it comes to Spider-Man 3, I've made a video on this in the past, and it was truly one of my worst theater experiences. Not only was the movie way too long and terrible, but there was a guy behind me eating his popcorn with his mouth wide open, and every time he would take a bite, he would accidentally spit it out towards us. So yeah, I'm just watching this mediocre film, and I hear this behind me for 3 hours. Yeah, that would be one of my worst theater experiences. Another one I like to share is the time I went to see Casino Royale in the theater. Phenomenal movie. But it was one of the worst theater experiences because for some odd reason, they turned the temperature up in the theater to 120 degrees. It was just me and a few friends watching the movie. Now, I loved every second of the movie. That's why I stayed. But about an hour into the film, it was like we were sitting in a sauna. Everyone was dripping sweat. My friend beside me took off his shirt, put his feet up, took off his shoes. Keep in mind, we were the only ones in the theater. But I just remember we were sitting there dripping sweat. I wanted to take my large soda and just dump it over my head. That was terrible. And I would say one of my most recent terrible theater experiences was going to watch Avengers Endgame, and the dude sitting beside me in this huge packed theater had the worst breath I've ever smelled. It smelled like something crawled into his mouth, rotted, died, stayed there for 6 months. I can still smell it right now. Yeah, thinking back on it now, I wish I could have sprinkled like Tic Tacs in his popcorn as he was eating it. Just anything to stop that putrid smell from entering my nostril cavity. It just, every time I watch Avengers Endgame now, I smell death when I watch it. And now to wrap up your question, one of my best theater experiences was going to see The Dark Knight at a midnight showing. This was back when you had to go to a midnight showing of a movie. They didn't play it at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. You had to go at midnight. Now, on the way to the theater, I was speeding. I got a speeding ticket. But you know what? The movie was so good. The next day, I didn't really care about it. But I just remember it being a packed theater, watching it with my friends, and just being immersed into like the best Batman film I've ever seen in my entire life. And it was truly like a magical experience. And that's one of the best ones I have.
Hello John, this is Jacob from Holland, or Jacob Juice as you always like to say. I'm at the moment on vacation with my parents and my brother on Terschelling. It's a little island above the Netherlands. And my question to you is, when do you go on a holiday? Or do you sometimes go on a holiday or on a short trip? I mean, you're always working, it looks like. So that's my question, I'm curious. Thank you for always making the great content. Bye!
Thanks for the question, Jacob. And I like doing the video questions. I like putting a face with the name. And Jacob's been a long time Patreon supporter for a while. And yeah, it's nice to see you, man. As far as going on a holiday, or as us Americans call it, a vacation, yeah, I haven't been on a vacation for a couple years. I remember a few years ago we went to the Smoky Mountains, stayed in a cabin. That was pretty cool. But typically, I'm a man of simple things, of simple taste. And if I can just lay on the fetal position on the couch watching YouTube videos for 15 hours straight, drinking a soda, eating stale popcorn, that to me is vacation enough. And I can typically do that just about every day. But if I could go on a vacation right now, I'd like to go somewhere tropical and drink a fruit drink out of a large coconut or something with an umbrella coming out of it. Or I would like to go back to Universal Studios. I haven't been there in many, many years, and that's sort of a cool place to go. Yeah.
Hi John, my name is Jimmy and I'm from England. I was just wondering if you've seen the series Peaky Blinders. In my opinion, it has the best performances from Cillian Murphy and Tom Hardy. I love your videos.
Well, thanks, man. And no, I haven't seen it. I never got around to watching it. As far as like series go, I'm so backlogged and things I need to catch up on. I'm currently watching The Boys Season 2. That's like my go-to weekly show right now, but never seen it. Heard good things, but never saw it.
Hey John, this is Jake from Baltimore, Maryland, and I hope your day is magical and mystical. My question for you is, what is your ideal version of a Joker sequel? Thanks.
Knock, knock. One of the best knock, knock jokes ever told was in Joker. It makes me laugh every time I hear it. What would I do with a Joker sequel, or what would I like to see? Well, when it comes to the first film, I thought it was perfection. I love films about flawed characters who are utterly insane sociopaths. I don't know, maybe I relate to it in some weird, sick, sadistic way. But when it comes to a sequel, I feel like that sequel is going to have to answer some of those ambiguous questions that were left with the first Joker film, which made it so great. Was everything imaginary? Were some of the things imaginary? Is he just utterly insane in a padded room and we're visually seeing the things he's coming up with? I think if you do a sequel, you have to answer some of those questions and then go a direction. Or maybe it's just still ambiguous and maybe some of the things that happen in the sequel are still up to interpretation, what's actually happening, what's not. For me, I sort of would just like to see things play out how they should. I like to see Joaquin Phoenix become the clown prince of Gotham City, and there's organized crime and just utter chaos. And maybe it ends off with some references to a new vigilante in Gotham, Batman. Or maybe it doesn't, but yeah, I don't know. It's really one of those things that it's like, how do you make a sequel to a film like that? It's like, how do you make a sequel to a film like Taxi Driver? Like, what would you do with that? I don't know. I don't know if it would tarnish the predecessor or if it would actually go even deeper into madness. I would just like to see more anarchy and chaos. Simple as that. And more Joaquin Phoenix.
Hey John, it's Nick from Chicago, and my question's this. If you could swap out one actor from any movie and replace them with yourself, who would it be? What is your dream role of any movie that exists?
Playing Patrick Bateman from American Psycho would be pretty cool, or Lou Bloom from Nightcrawler. I just love sociopathic characters. They're so enjoyable and fun, and I like that dark humor. But in all reality, if I could truly choose any movie character to be, I would love to play Batman in a live-action Batman film. Now, which interpretation of Batman would I want to be? Like 89 Keaton, or maybe Ben Affleck's Batman? I don't know. Maybe George Clooney's Batman, because I'd have a really odd bat suit that had, yeah. Most honest answer I can give you is I would love to be Christian Bale's Batman in Batman Begins. That's what I would like to do. Swear to me!
Johnny boy, what's going on, man? I'm Jack. I'm from Australia. I just want to know what your personal opinion was on the 97 film, Event Horizon. I love it.
It's been many years since I've seen Event Horizon. I remember as a kid, we rented it from Blockbuster, I feel like 2 or 3 times. My stepdad really enjoyed it. I was never in love with it. It's sort of like a guilty pleasure movie, I guess, if you went back and watched it nowadays. All I remember is it did terrible at the box office, and then it came out to VHS and it did much better. But yeah, I was never a hardcore fan of the movie. I should go back and revisit it. It's probably been 15 years since I've seen it.
Hey John, my name is Fred. I'm from Ontario, Canada. I just want to know, what are your thoughts on the upcoming Antlers movie? And do you have any tips on building muscle mass? Stay safe, man.
Well, thanks for the question. As far as Antlers goes, I think it's been delayed until February 2021. And with every movie nowadays, it keeps getting delayed and delayed and delayed. Hopefully it does come out. It looks like a fun big B movie about some creature wreaking havoc on a small town. It could be a good time. As far as like putting muscle mass on, yeah, and by the way, guys, I do read the comments. John's shrinking. He's getting smaller. Well, there's 2 reasons for that. One is the version of me from 2015, 2016, I can't sustain that version. That was me eating 15 chicken breasts a day, living in the gym for many, many hours. And I just it's like once you hit a certain peak, you're like, oh, I did it. And now I don't care anymore. And the truth be told, I have not worked out in probably 6 months. And even over the last year, I've probably only really had like 6 or 7 good workouts in the gym. I don't know. It's like once you conquer one mountaintop and you get the bicep vascularity that you want, you just don't care anymore. Or maybe that's just me. And if you want a more substantial answer to that, go to my second channel. There's some like beginner workout tip videos I made like 5 years ago. There's like an hour-long video where I just give advice on how to work out. So yeah, go check that video out on my second channel.
Hey John, I am Johannes from Denmark. The Nightcrawler, directed by Dan Gilroy. If the film was directed by Martin Scorsese, do you think Nightcrawler will still be a favorite film of all time?
By the way, all of my viewers are like from other countries. I love it. It's great. It's truly fascinating, this invention that we have, internet. It's like you can be in another continent or another country and look at my face. As far as Nightcrawler, if it was directed by Martin Scorsese, would it be my favorite film of all time? Quite possibly, but it might be a very different film. I like that it was sort of directed by a smaller, unknown director at the time, Dan Gilroy. That's what I like about it. It was fresh and different, and it had like its own style. Martin Scorsese makes really good movies, and I think if he directed Nightcrawler, it'd probably star Leonardo DiCaprio in the main role, and there'd be a lot of even more so dialogue-driven scenes. It's still my favorite movie of all time. Like, if I could make any movie, if you could go into my brain and come up with the best screenplay of all time, it would be Nightcrawler. Because if you want to win the lottery, you have to buy a ticket. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching, and thank you guys for the questions. I had way more video questions, but some of them I've answered before, and I just figured I'd switch it up a little bit in this. And once again, make sure you enter in that Baby Ruth contest. It's so easy, and I want you guys to win awesome free stuff because once again, I like you guys, maybe a little bit too much. So definitely check it out. All the details to the contest are down below. And real quick, I will be making more videos. I'm currently sort of in a transitional phase. I'm redoing my studio. I'm going to switch things up, how I make videos. I might be making them on like a sofa, kind of loungy with like a big bowl of popcorn in front of me with every video. I don't know. Something a little even more laid back than this. So yeah, look out for that. As always, guys, make sure you leave your thoughts, your opinions, your comments down below. I love to hear from you guys. And make sure you subscribe. That way I can see you next time.